developments?
Not that I'm aware of. I know that we're still working with the district attorney's office in terms of the case, but not anything specific, no.
In Chinatown area, there are increased about 29% in robbery cases compared to the previous year. So what could be the reasons, do you think?
Actually, when I was looking, because I do look at my numbers on a regular basis, my robberies, at least when I looked at it this week, it's actually down about 1%. But crime in general, especially murders, are up. So I'm up about 6% up in violent crimes.
But in Chinatown area, even for this year, I think this is from the January to May, there's still a big decrease. So why is the special robbery increase in that area?
Well, crime in general has gone up nationally. It's not just in the Houston area, and there could be a variety of reasons. But it's something that we look at very specifically. We try to drill down into those specific crimes. And what we do is I've made it a point to let the divisional commanders know, because we meet on a regular basis in terms of the crime in the city. But I want them to know and make sure that we enact is it's not just them by themselves in a particular geographic area. We have a lot of resources, investigative resources, plainclothes officers. So we try to attack these problems in a more holistic way in terms of actually thinking them through and developing tactics to address those particular crimes, especially because violent crime is going up, whereas nonviolent crimes such as burglaries and thefts are not going up. We're actually down on those.
Chief Montano, anecdotally, people have noticed that there is much more violent crime in hot, muggy weather than in winter, certainly not in blizzards. Is the fact that we're having record high overall temperatures a possible contributing factor here?
If I knew those answers, you know, I could make a lot of money and write a book. But I'm sure it does, because obviously when the weather is nicer, people tend to be outside more. And when the weather is hotter, people tend, you know, to be uncomfortable and maybe tempers can flare. I'm sure all of that has an impact on the rate of crime.
The new technology you highlighted earlier, had that been in the works for a while, or is that in response to because it would seem it's really, I guess it's tied to sort of police, I guess, sort of police chases. I don't know if it's tied to a change in policy there, or is there a particular reason why this is rolling out now?
Well, we're not changing policy per se, because I think we have a very thoughtful and thought out policy in terms of the responsibilities of the officers and the supervisors that are involved in these type of chases. But I think it's also important for, as a police department, that we look at technology, because it does exist. And you can't stay stagnant. You've got to always be looking for better ways, safer ways, more efficient ways of doing things. And part of doing that is looking at technology. And I don't know if these devices are going to, you know, work for us in our city, but I want to try. I want to see how effective it is. And this is 2016, and we need to look at technology as being important, an important part of policing.
Yesterday, City Council approved, I think, 3 or 4 Homeland Security grant applications, some of which had direct relationship to the Houston Police in Harris County. Could you talk a little bit about what we're hoping to do with those grants?
Well, one of the ones is Secures Community, which is it's a device that will be able to alert police officers if there's something in the air in regards to maybe nuclear weapons, and there's going to have to be training involved in terms of what to do once that alert is set off. Obviously, it just gives us more knowledge and more information and more responsibility, frankly, in terms of making sure that our community is safe. And a lot of it could be, you know, false positives, and we need to make sure that our officers are trained in terms of knowing what to do if they do get alerts. But again, this is another aspect of technology, where we have smarter in terms of what we're using. And since officers are out on the streets, obviously they're the logical choice for these type of devices. But you know, I can't reiterate enough that the eyes and ears of the community are the people that live there. Because they know something doesn't look right. They know something doesn't feel right. And I think Homeland Security is a responsibility of everybody, not just the police.
Did the Trump campaign formally notify you all that they were coming to town? And
We normally work through Secret Service.
so somebody notifies
Of course,
you ahead
yes.
of time? And just curious, does anyone help foot the bill for the extra manpower? Does the Trump campaign or the Clinton campaign, when they come to town, do they help pay for any extra security?
No, I wish, no.
Is there anything new on the man who shot and killed his daughter and wife on Powkey Drive?
I'm not aware of anything new. We could find out for you and you can get that information back to you.
There isn't, Chief.
Oh, there isn't.
Is he still speaking with you all, or has he been released?
No charges, released without charges for the time being.
Okay.
Is there a plan to increase the police patrol in the Chinatown area, please?
Well, there's a plan to increase police in general. Hopefully with the 5 classes that the mayor's giving me this year and with the promise of an additional 5 classes next year, I hope to gain about 200 officers that we could put out in the streets.
So is there any detailed data?
No, I have no detailed data at this time, but obviously our officers will go where they're needed in terms of calls for services and crime.
Has there been any change in the demographics or anything anything that would suggest to you why there's been an increase in the robberies and whatnot in the Chinatown area?
Like I said, crime in general is going up, with the exception, I'm looking at robberies right now, we're down about 1%. On those type of crimes, especially on these crew type crimes where there's more than one suspect, we normally work with our other partners, other agencies. Crime is normally happens because of opportunity. And because they have information, there's especially when we're talking about robberies, opportunity and these individuals knowing that they can easily obtain what they're looking for, which is usually money. And again, that's where vigilance comes in, and that's where some of our programs in terms of how to stay safe, especially the business community, has been using this quite a bit in terms of target hardening their businesses and how they conduct their usual routines.
But you're not aware of any kind of change or anything like that in
No,
the neighborhoods or anything that has contributed to this
no.
increase?
Asian youths can be easy victims